Make sure my fantasy team lined up while I'm over here.
Oh, wait. I'm glad you said that shit. I'm glad you said that shit.
Oh boy.
Hold on. Cause man, won't somebody be out? Yeah, I'm supposed to get blew out this week. Everybody playing. The blowout week for me.
Yeah, it's all good. I just need I should be able to make the playoffs in both of mine. I might win in one league, but I need a W. I definitely need a W in this league right here. I
If
mean,
I'm if I'm gonna make the playoffs, I gotta have a win today. I'm playing against a number three team. It's not looking good for me.
mm,
It's not looking good for your boy. But I'm due to max out and win three in a row.
okay, okay, okay.
I'm in ninth.
Because what the
So
playoffs about, what, 3 weeks away?
something like that.
Two, three
Yeah, it's
weeks
week
away?
12. Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, I gotta win out.
Yeah.
Even if I won
I'm
out, I
wishing
would
I'm
barely
wishing
be.
you well, brother. I'm
I'm
wishing you
not gonna win
well.
out, but hey. Well, shit, this joint is already recording.
Okay.
I like that. That was a very soft intro right there.
Culturally in tune.
You know. But World episode 3, building with Mars and Big Esco. You know,
What's
glad you're
happening?
still
Up?
here.
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Hmm.
One day we'll have ads.
One day.
Gamble your life
One day.
away.
That's a 2025 projection for me.
Me and Mars will be giving you our parlays soon enough.
When I can actually start hitting on them bitches.
I'm more of a now. I actually would like to start the show off with finance before we get into Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. I'm with it.
Um, I think next year I'm going all in on Bitcoin.
Really?
Um, yeah. Just as an
Okay.
investment, I feel like if I try to go a 5 year investment on Bitcoin, I'll get a return.
I don't hate that. I definitely don't hate that. I still got a little bit of my Bitcoin from like the whole pandemic era and all of that.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's cool, but
I got into the Bitcoin ETF that
that's really, I was
BlackRock
about to say, that's really
runs.
where it's at. Doing like some retail stock trading and
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
just
Bitcoin ETF that BlackRock got, I
yeah,
bet.
that's really the one. That's really the
Yeah,
one.
I'm plus money.
I do
Plus
not,
money.
I'm not a fan of BlackRock. I just tweeted about that the other day. I'm like, it sucks because they on the more like progressive or like conscious level of trading, you're encouraged to like, invest in companies that you support or buy or ones that do good or
Right.
whatever. So like it's been like I've invested a little bit in like new energy, clean energy or whatever, but they
Right.
not making money like oil. And it's
No.
like with this Trump fucking 10-year about to pop off, he about to have an attack on clean energy. He talking about drill baby drill, and it's like yeah, I would make more money if I invested in Shell, but I also I want to make more money. That's the goal of
That
investing, but I
black guilt.
also don't want to contribute to the world like getting hotter at a faster pace. I'm just not gonna touch the energy sector for real or
Yeah.
whatever, or like look for some overseas kind of like ETFs and everything for some people doing some shit in
Cool.
like the global south that's a little cleaner, but it's rough
True.
when it comes to this investing shit because I also should not be investing in BlackRock. Like those guys are not good people. But like
Yeah.
they got the best Bitcoin
It's
ETF.
like this. This is what being black is like. BlackRock, I'm supposed to feel bad about BlackRock, but okay about
Hmm.
Lil Durk. You know, it's
I would say no to both. I would say no to both
and I'm
personally.
starting to
But I
see people, you know
feel
what I'm saying? That is the juxtaposition that you're supposed to have as a black person, which is like all of the shit is evil. You know what I'm saying?
all of it.
And that's why we really got to champion the people who are doing the right things. Did you have any did you hear anything relevant to your life that happened from Complex Con?
Relevant to my life, no. I mean, I'm a little older, but also, and that's crazy because we actually haven't touched on it yet. But I'm not gonna say that streetwear is dead, quote unquote, but like we are, it's in a real influx type of space. Same with the sneaker industry. Like it's some fire J's that's been dropping that have not been selling out and shit. Like niggas is just not really copping like that. Not to mention the Nike market share,
The
CEOs
economy.
about yada 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 the economy. So it's a bunch of like layers to it. But my personal theory is the same way that the rap game has really kind of gone kaputs in the last few years due to the over saturation and hyper commercialization of it for the last 10, 15 years. All the other subsequent subcultures up under hip hop, like sneaker culture and streetwear and the club, are also kind of
Right.
going, the way of what they say, the way of was it the way of the caveman? I forget what the phrase
Hmm.
was, but yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I do think that there is hope. There are some cool younger kids out there doing some interesting stuff, kind of just like
Yeah.
the rap game, but unless you kind of like underground and like a traditionalist, or like you like to say like a purist or whatever, you probably
Tourist.
doing if you're doing that, you like for hip hop, an example for hip hop, like those kind of like undergroundy cats that's like really barring up and like going back to like
Yeah.
soul samples and loops and really
Hmm.
killing that shit. And they touring and like doing good at nice smaller to mid-sized venues. Like they making money doing stuff, but they not on the radio or whatever. It's kind of the same thing for fashion or whatever. Like if the few brands that I've come across that are doing really, really cool, interesting stuff to me are the
Hmm.
ones that are looking back to the OGs of streetwear, getting back into
Gotcha.
graphic tees,
Yeah.
some sort of like subculture to fall into, whether that be skate or clubs or even jugging and shit. Like I've seen some like cool trappy
That's real.
drug dealery type of stuff down in Atlanta because Atlanta be doing like this quarterly like streetwear convention where a bunch of
Streetwear market. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
been
That
a
shit's
few
pretty
few
cool.
few
Yeah,
few
but then on the other
brands here in St. Louis. Some of the homies been
word,
going
word,
down
that's
there, been
tight. That's
tapping
tight. I'm
in.
happy to see motherfuckers going to that. But on
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
side, what I see getting a lot more sales, just like streams or whatever right now, are the people that's like making this shit that's like based off of Hellstar or Amiri or these other like very popular brands right now. And I did love that clip from the guy from Hellstar, and they asked him like, "How you feel about people jocking?" So I was like, "Shit." When I started off, I was doing X, Y, and Z like
Jockin
that,
Virgil.
and then
Hmm.
and I grew and did my own. I think that's still a good way to learn how to be an artist of any sort, whether it be a designer, musician, whatever. You kind of learn from your favorites, and then you kind of craft your own style once you learn some of those tricks. But I think aesthetically, it's still not in a good place. And like algorithms also kind of uplift the things that people like right now. It's a sense of
Yeah.
immediacy with that type of stuff that I don't think that consumers are always getting fed the healthiest shit or the stuff that's
Mm.
really of substance because it's
Well,
engagement. But yeah, what's
it's
what say
it's
you?
it it's hard to pull from stuff when everything is available.
That too. These
So
archive pages is fucking up the game.
when let's just go back to when Complex Con started, which was
Hmm.
when Complex came out, the Mark Echo, Kanye, the rise of Kanye, really. Because the
Hmm.
rise of Kanye really much so followed the rise of Complex, pretty much.
Right, right, right.
Um, Kanye being a low head at that time was a piece of nostalgia for a group of people. And for
Hmm.
people our age who did not live through, like we weren't participants of that time period. You know, what I mean, we were alive during some of its, obviously, when it
Right,
was
right,
going
right.
on, but we weren't participating in that way. Um, he was pulling from something that you had to have insider information to know about, right? And that is like creative. And then you
Hmm.
mix and you do certain stuff. I think that like it's just not as creative. It's harder to be creative now in a lot of ways.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the people who are great streetwear people now are really great business people,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
probably better than they are creatives. And I think that
Right, right.
creatives are how, and I don't think that that's the wrong approach,
I mean,
but
if you
I
want to
think
make money, yes,
I'm just
but
saying that like I feel like they're not doing that in a malicious way. And I'm not talking about like the
true,
kids
fair.
or
That's
like
fair.
people
That's
on that
fair.
level. I'm
That's
talking
fair.
about like just like the young people who actually out here doing it. Because it's
Hmm.
like at this point now, what can you show some of the anybody that's into the culture that they haven't seen before? You know what I mean? That's why people
One
tapping
that's
into the
into the
global
culture.
market. That's why the global market is important because now people can go out and make the jeans they always wanted to make. They can go make the jacket that they always wanted to make. Versus to your point, it was just the fact that you could buy blanks, figure out how to get something that you thought up on there. And that
Hmm.
effort alone, you made a CD. That effort
Right,
alone
right,
said
right.
so much about you. You play on the basketball team and you had somebody record your games and you made a tape out
Hmm.
of it. That
Right,
says
right,
how
right.
serious you take basketball alone.
Right. Now everybody got
Now,
a tape now.
not everybody got a tape. I coach some kids now. They're terrible. They got tapes. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the people who was making tapes when I was playing.
Right, right, right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So I feel like it's that kind of a thing. The access, and it's hard for me to say right or wrong. That's why I said relevant to your life.
Right, 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 right.
Because I'm sure some big things did happen for some people
Right.
there.
I agree with you. I think a big thing that has also happened, and it's funny, fucking A-Side from No Vacancy In. This was a chat from a couple of years ago. They did like a recording at Art Basel or whatever. It was him, Virgil, Heron, and Denim Tears. And I want to say it was A-Side. He was just saying like we don't really have subcultures anymore. And so many of these things
Mm,
were like based off of subcultures really like you got the club kids over here, the skater kids, the hip-hop kids. There was an intersectionality and a lot of common interest. He would mix and mingle the downtown New Yorks, the London scenes, the Japans, the LAs, yada yada, the meccas that we know for this culture that we love so much. There was a lot of intersectionality with it, but I think in the social media era you don't really have the same sort of little small bubbles of communities anymore just by nature. I think there are
I
still
got a
some
question for you on
there.
that. No,
Yeah,
but I got a
yeah.
question for you on that.
Here,
Like,
here,
would you,
one
I'll
second. I
go
just
ahead, go ahead.
but I think that the way that information is even shared with kids who are digital natives, they put it online first and foremost. So there's not even necessarily a grand like IYKYK effect to it because
Hmm.
everybody's just like posting, sharing. And if you that one kid that might really be into some super cool shit, but you look cool online, which most kids are still trying to look cool online, you don't get a lot
Right,
of followers. And by nature, getting a lot of followers, a lot of people gonna start coming to your shit, so you don't even
right.
really give it enough time to like truly let some shit bubble before it becomes like a true community in the traditional sense of the word. But as you were,
So, would you consider Joe Fresh Goods a subculture?
no,
Why not?
no. He has a community, but I don't think that there's a sub the culture that he is a representative of is Chicago culture. And that's it's the third largest city and the third largest country of the world. So like I don't see
But,
him as a
uh-huh.
and then also they don't
Because look, this is why I'm asking that, right? Because
mhm.
like you said, Chicago culture, and you go adjacent to it in music, it's like drill music, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Drill
yeah,
music
yeah.
is not rap. It is a subgenre of rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That
I mean,
is
it's not the
large.
rap, but it is still rap to me. Like
No,
it
it
just
is rap.
this is
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's right rap,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
East Coast rap, West Coast rap,
Right, right, right.
or
Exactly,
subgenre.
exactly,
You know
exactly.
what I'm
But
saying?
all
If
of
we
those
go
are
into
rap. You just said it wasn't rap. I'm like, it's still rap. It's just
no, I
not
meant yeah,
the rap. Like
the
it's not
rap,
hip
yeah.
hop, quote
It's
unquote.
subculture, but I'm just saying it's a
Yeah, yeah,
subculture of
yeah,
rap,
yeah,
like the
yeah,
foundation of raps.
yeah.
It's hella kind of genres of rap. You got
Mm-hmm.
80s old school rap, you got 80s
Mm-hmm.
this kind of rap. I look at
Mm-hmm.
it like that. They all kind
Mm-hmm.
of, and I guess that's what I'm kind of saying. Like now that we can quantify and know how many people are online, kind of in a way,
Right. Right,
right?
right, 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 right.
A million views, a million followers does not make you mainstream, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because there
yeah,
are
yeah.
people who are on Love and Hip Hop who have a million followers. And I'm saying they are a subculture of TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
guess like as we're just kind of having this conversation, you're kind of giving me like a new way to look at it because it's
Mm-hmm.
like everybody don't listen to everything technically. Even if you a
Right.
young person that's into a
Mm-hmm.
certain thing, like you being into the 19 to 24-year-olds of drill music is a
Right.
subculture within like the subculture
Right,
of drill
right, right,
music.
right,
So
right.
like when you said that, it's like everybody don't wear Joe Fresh good shit. It's only a select group of people who are into like that kind of class of the shit. Like Kith
Mm-hmm.
is mainstream within streetwear or that culture, things that have derived from that thought. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Hmm.
like, I don't know. I kind of put I, like that. That made me for the first time. I'd be like, how was that not technically the new subculture? It has
Hmm.
grown. And so if you compare Joe Fresh Goods to what was 15 years ago, you'd be like, of course not. He works with Adidas. He's worked with, but today, you know what I'm saying? Like Louis Vuitton, like all these the big fat like people consider fashion, like the big fashion.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
he's not on the same level as he's not nowhere near on the same level as them. He's
Right, right,
just
right.
producing more than people previous to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is a
Yeah,
natural progression to me. So it's like,
yeah.
how is
I
that not just like the new version of it?
I I think just for me, the mechanics of how a culture, really more specifically a subculture works, there's just more infrastructure than just product and promotion. And that's generally what he centers around now. I actually got on some fresh good sweats right now and a premium tee. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not that I don't like him. I'm definitely a fan of what he does. I think he has given a space for community with his shop, and it's like it does really well. I like the store and a lot of shit that's going on over there. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but bro is older and like really running a business now. So like when I first moved up here in 2009, I would say then it felt more subculture. There were parties that they were throwing on a regular basis. They were still doing drops. It was more on like a street
So
ground
you're
level.
saying when like capitalism gets too involved, it kind of subculture kind of goes
Yeah, yeah.
away to
Well,
some
you you
degree.
you know you know my phrase. I tweet it all the time. I say it in conversation. Capitalism kills culture, and I'm not necessarily saying that about him specifically,
No,
but I
no, no,
think
no. Yeah, we
yeah,
just
there's a
yeah.
certain like threshold when it comes to like getting to the bread, which most artists are
Mm,
starting out to try to make a living off of their art, creativity, and ideas anyway. But when you get to a certain threshold, you feeding people, bro. Like you you get taking care of people, and it's not easy to do.
okay.
That's why that nigga like Ye is like a goat to me, because like regardless of all the controversy and all this other shit, this nigga like still finds a way to like do some kind of cutting edge shit. Like even the
Yeah.
motherfucking the little samplers and shit. Like I didn't buy one,
STEM
but I thought
player.
that was like
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
It's
And
fire.
yeah, he be doing some avant-garde shit sometimes, and then he'll go and still like fuck with some random street artists, and knows how to like make these big spectacles, but he also knows how to like reach out to motherfuckers that's like actually doing it on a ground level right now, and that's
Mm,
very hard to do when you're a multi-billion-dollar brand. And
yeah,
Kanye West is still a multi-billion-dollar brand.
for sure.
Like Travis Scott, I think that they're like you have fan bases, like niggas do have fan bases and audience demographics and shit like that.
Hmm.
But like I don't think of the Cactus Jack kids as like a subculture of hip hop.
No, no, no. You definitely
They
answered my
like
question of
stands and like
like,
hyper consumers, yeah.
so like, so where does that put what Kendrick is doing, I guess within rap, him displaying LA street music, LA city street music, because that is a difference. Like
Right,
these are
right,
cats
right.
from the
Like real
city,
like local cats that's
city
yeah, yeah,
cats,
yeah.
not from the valley, not, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like not from the, you know,
Hmm.
LA City
I
on the
mean,
main stage
it's
again.
dope to me. Also, I'm a firm believer that this was not an album, it was more of a mixtape. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
His platform is
Project,
kind of
album.
me.
They
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
same to
yeah,
me. It's
yeah.
on fucking Spotify. So however, whatever. It's the time you
Type
click.
shit, type shit. No, but I do think that him using his platform to uplift certain artists was really, really awesome. I think big artists should always do that. Big brands should always be able to reach down and lift up. I just think that that's kind of what you should do, but that's just a moral thing that I feel.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I think it was special, and the city of LA is celebrating it. So I think job well done when your locals are fucking with you. I don't live in LA.
That's
I
real.
enjoy the city from time to time when I go out there. I got my qualms about it too, but I'm not a local. I can't tell a nigga from LA how to do LA better than a nigga
Right.
that's actually in LA. But from what I've seen, the people that's out there are loving it. And I mean, the broader hip hop community right now is also fuck with the project. It's the talk of the town this weekend, and it
Yeah.
probably will be through the rest of the holiday season because you got a couple slappers on there that could definitely. We DJ too. Like I know that we could play a couple songs
Yeah.
individually, and if we were gigging together, we would definitely be like, let's play this Kendrick G. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely. Sheesh.
I think it's a special moment. For sure. And I think that's what an artist as big as a Kendrick Lamar should be doing with his opportunities and his platform at this point.
Yeah. Sheesh, that shit is crazy. Like he
Hmm.
really actually, how do you say it? Like I was just actually just talking to Alexi about this. Like I don't know because I read the article with Future Metro Boomin talking
Okay.
about and Future is
I
always
did
like
not
if
read the
you
article. What was the article?
basically Future said in there that like they asked him about it and he was like, what beef? Basically.
With
Like,
Drake?
yeah, like y'all think
Uh-huh.
we really made an album about this dude, XYZ. And he was basically saying like Kendrick basically got on my song and said he fuck the big three, it's just him. He was like, how should I not technically be offended by that? Like, how am I not in the big three, basically?
I mean, you also
People,
released a song, but okay. I feel where you're coming from though.
right.
It's hip
But
hop. Let it rock.
I mean, he did. He said, I'm the most player
Mm.
out of all of it. He said, if anybody should have been offended by what Kendrick said, it should have been me. So why would you be upset? Which to me is a direct response to Drake. Because if
Mm.
I'm Drake, right, the last two battles that he's had, he's proven himself to be a liar, right? So infrared drops. Dude says, like the Russians did it, it sounded like Nas, but it came from Quentin.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I guess you said that you didn't care. You said that you wrote all your shit. You said that you don't really care, believe in nothing Pusha T say. He not really a drug dealer, all this other shit. It's all a facade. And so now he's saying that Quentin wrote your ass, but you said that that's not true, right?
Right.
You
Right.
don't care
Right.
about that. You drop that was on his album. If you responded on your next body of work, totally in bounds. We're keeping
Mm.
it on the projects. You put out a diss track. That's different. That's going out of your way. Because he
Yeah.
put on his album, he didn't drop just like a random song. It's the last song on his album. Okay, you dropped out your body, right?
Hmm.
You drop a song with J. Cole, whether Kendrick's supposed to be on there or not, right?
Right.
Because I'm a rapper too, so I got a
Super
rapper brain.
Bowl. Who still ain't performed at no Super Bowl, nigga.
Okay, you're not American. Get out of here. Okay, so
Oh man.
boom, big as the what? I saw both of them perform that song this year. I saw them perform that in St. Louis.
Oh, that's right. They
Okay,
did do a stop through the crib.
they
Okay.
was kissing and hugging on stage, like he said. They was bromance. I think the proper term is
Two
bromance,
light-skinned biracials doing what they do
fighting
best.
for their
Like the
ethnic.
NBA right now.
It was like one had naturally accepted himself, and then that other one is like jailing that hair down, trying to what is it, the
Hmm.
braids? Like really
Right.
get
With
into
fucking
that.
duck wish.
Okay.
Like, bro, you 38 doing duck
Come on,
wish.
bro. You
Leave
are
me
you
alone,
are
creep.
holding on to it. Boom. Okay. Y'all drop that. He drops on Future record. Now we don't know as the public that you got a problem with Future, but we do know you got a problem with Metro. We know
Right.
Metro don't fuck with you, and you don't fuck
Hmm.
with Metro. But they
Hmm.
drop like that. He
Hmm.
didn't really say that much. He said some crazy Kendrick shit. Man, fuck y'all. It's just me.
Right. Which I
Okay,
think
Drake.
any rapper who's telling himself as the best
He
rapper in
did
the game.
control. He did
Yeah.
control. He's already shown that he's willing to step out there and rile that
And
up, which
Drake
you
was the only nigga
said,
that took offense back then. All the other niggas was like, hey, that's hip
which
hop. I
no,
fuck with
no,
bro.
but
Like,
his
hey.
response to Elliot Wilson was, hey, nobody remembers that verse now. I'm dropping hit songs. That's what
And
matters.
meanwhile, when the 10-year anniversary came, that was literally a trending topic that day. How does that verse
Okay.
hold today? And niggas like, well, Kendrick was right.
Okay. Hey, I thought that was the wrong response then. I thought that was the wrong attitude
Type
then,
shit.
personally. But at the time, he was scoring the most points, so it's like James Harden. It's like shit. Well, shit. He having 40. He can't really say shit for real.
Mhm.
Okay. Again, like that drops, you go out of your way to drop a diss song. Boom, you drop your diss song, you call Kendrick out, he drops Euphoria. He said, don't, and let's leave it here. You know what I'm saying? And now we're here to where I'm not 100% sure that Kendrick is dissing Drake
Hmm.
on this
I didn't
project.
I didn't see as many subs that were directed at Drake on this last project.
No
To me,
more
I
than
didn't
any,
feel it. I didn't
no,
feel
I
it.
would say no more than out his whole career.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Because
yeah,
who
yeah.
else has he been talking about? It, like, you know what I'm saying? Who he compares himself to. It's
Right,
no East Coast rappers, no Atlanta rappers.
right, right,
That was the
right,
only
right,
measure. Big Sean wasn't
right,
a
right,
measure.
right.
Wale wasn't a measure. Wiz Khalifa, like, you know what I'm saying? He was the
Yeah.
only measure. So we know, like I'm saying, Kendrick been talking the same shit the whole time. Drake been talking the same shit the whole time to the field.
Now know who's the top dog.
And
No pun
so
intended.
I don't know, big pun intended. So I don't know how he comes back. Like I want Drake, like it's like anime to me. It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's like he
Hmm.
gotta come back and he's gonna want to come back around. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
I think he's missing the message every time. Like he's shown back to back, like, ooh, you
I
missing the
think
message.
Not Like Us was that whole beef in general, like the Meet the Grams, and then the Not Like Us. Like Meet the Grams was closing the casket, and then I think like the actual nails in the coffin was Not Like Us for real, for real. I think
Not
really
for real.
speaking about like he wrote a song that was directed to that man, Mama, Daddy, and Other Child.
Zero
And then he
down.
come back and was like, "You need, nigga, you need Atlanta. They don't need you as much as you need them for real, for real. You got to go to Atlanta when you need something that's hot." And I remember Drake talking about
Which is a
he
real
run
nigga thing to
LA and all
say.
these other things. It just was so much because Drake just did the wrong type of wolfing. I feel like he was it was driven by ego and pride. And I mean that's kind of a part of what's gonna drive a motherfucker to do something violent, to be riled up in the beef and all that shit anyway. But like
Mhm.
no checks and balances. He obviously don't. He got all yes men in his crew, kind of like Ye.
Or
You kind of driving yourself a little insane right now, bro. Nobody like, hey, like cool down, bro. I don't know if you really want to go in this territory. You need that in the war room when you in beef with a nigga and some real rap beef.
well, Ye is different because Ye is like Hitler. Or
He
not
is.
Hitler. No, not like Hitler. Not like Hitler. He's like
He on his
who the
black
short nigga?
skinhead shit.
Napoleon. No, Kanye is like Napoleon.
Okay,
Napoleon
okay,
was so crazy
okay.
that they banished him and put him on an island and was like, you gotta stay on this island. We're not gonna murder you. We
Right,
gonna
right,
but
right,
you
right,
gotta stay
right.
on this island. He left the island, came back. The people still was like, fuck it, we ride with Napoleon one more time. Why not? You know what I'm saying? That's how Kanye is to me. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah.
Like
That is yeah.
you could throw them in Australia, and it's like niggas will fly over there to hit the beats. Like that is
Right, right, right,
crazy.
right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right.
And it's like,
I don't know
that's
nobody that's
why
going out their way to like go and fucking play.
Drake. But listen, I want to bring you back to a time, Mars. Okay. Lately, I've been watching old videos, like like on the free channels, Amazon might have. They got
Yeah,
like
yeah,
music
yeah,
channels.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah,
showing
yeah.
all the obscure aughts, mid
Mm-hmm.
2000s videos, right?
Okay, okay, okay,
Go
okay.
back to a time when Drake and Kendrick Lamar were up and coming rappers, 2006,
Okay.
right? A time when before social media and black culture, a nigga like Terrence J was important to niggas in black culture,
Right, right,
right?
right.
Where niggas still wore blazers to the club,
What a time to be
right?
alive.
What a time to be alive. Steve Harvey was talking to young people. At this time,
Right.
black identity was merging, and you get Obama, T.I., Jeezy,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest rappers in the South.
My president is black.
My Lambo is blue, right? They come up with a certain, to be amongst them, you had to come a certain kind of way because
Yeah,
of who?
that was like that was like Black Excellence 2.0 before the 3.0
Yes,
that we live in right now.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
because of who? Who was really setting the standard of actual cool in 2006 for black hip hop? Jay
Yeah, I'm
Z.
about to say that's ho. That's the
Jay
goat.
Z.
The
You
one
had to
true goat.
move in a way that was acceptable that Jay Z would be like the epitome of cool, right?
Right, right, right,
Drake
right.
comes around and Jay Z and Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne was sparking it up right then. He
Mm-hmm,
was sending us
mm-hmm,
in a new direction. The internet was
mm-hmm,
coming, like the
mm-hmm,
mixtapes, like he was
mm-hmm.
sprinting towards a new thing that we didn't know,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Jay Z's kind of like understanding his role as like the first I would call hip hop rapper MC Godfather, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Snoop
yeah, yeah.
Dogg has taken it. He took that role later.
Yes, yes, but it was Hov before it was Snoop, I
But it
would
was
say.
Hov for Snoop. He was the exec.
Yeah.
He could rap on your song. He could sign you. He could put the clothes on. He had
Mm-hmm,
the baddest
mm-hmm,
chick. He could ride in the
mm-hmm.
whips. He could do whatever, like in the street. He was dominating.
Right,
And then
right,
you
right.
got this thing of Drake that is like if you're an older gentleman that's older than them and you're a black man, you have empathy for young people, especially overall, but especially like our mixed brothers that come from a certain kind of situation. Cause you
Right,
like,
right, right,
I know
right,
what you're going through.
right,
And they always like, you don't gotta prove that to me.
right,
Lil Wayne said, don't get tattoos.
right.
Jay-Z said, look, they gonna try to talk shit about you.
Keep
Don't
it
try to
moving.
go
Yeah,
down that
yeah,
road. That's not
yeah,
you. I
yeah,
forgive you. I forgive you. He
yeah,
he
yeah.
already been giving them dudes sprinted down that road
Mm-hmm.
because it was that time period when it was like, are you
It's
really gonna
OCA too. Yeah, it was like
are you
Kanye was
gonna
already
out
starting to open that
musical
shit up.
Kid Cudi? You're not gonna out
Mm-hmm.
musical Kid Cudi, out cool him. You're not gonna out rap Wale and Kendrick and them. You
Right,
know you're not.
right.
Where are you gonna go to get the validation? He went to Atlanta to your point, who only you had it was a subculture at that time was Future.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, even then, sub like Future was like the bubbling. He was the
Right,
thing.
right,
Gucci
right,
was in
right, right,
jail.
right.
T.I. and Jeezy
I mean,
rap
but
had
Tony
changed.
Montana would have probably been what? That's like,
2011. That's what I'm
oh,
saying.
oh, it's 11 for that? I thought it was
It's
like
like
oh nine
12.
2010.
10,
Damn.
11. It's like 10, 11. That's what
Ooh,
I'm saying.
shit.
I was at Mizzou
Okay.
for sure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I took you back to '06.
Right, 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 right,
Because
right.
for Kendrick, you
I'm
got the
just doing
West Coast.
Google. Oh
Nah,
wow, it say Tony Montana. The official, just on a quick Google, say 2012. So wow,
so
wow,
2011, like we
wow. Yeah,
said,
so Racks
2010,
on Racks would have
2011.
probably been a couple of years before that. Then okay,
10. So that's like
okay,
10. That's what I'm
yes.
saying. Cause so far gone is 9.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Thank Me
yeah.
Later is
Yep,
10.
yep, 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 yep,
That's what I'm
yep.
saying. About 11, by 12, you got Good Kid, Mad City. But in
Yeah,
between
yeah,
that time
yeah,
for
yeah.
Kendrick on
Yeah,
that
that's the back end of
underground,
the blog era and all of that. Yep,
Kendrick
yep.
Lamar EP,
Mm-hmm.
Overly Dedicated, and
Mm-hmm.
Section 80. Like
Mm-hmm.
he, da da da
Cause when
da.
was that? When was that GQ spread with like Drake?
Exactly. That's like 9 or 10.
Okay, 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 okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
okay. That makes
saying.
sense. Woo,
And it
we.
got and think about it. The mainstream rap for his group decimated when Drake stepped up to the plate. Wale was
Hmm.
shaky because of his label situation. J.
Yeah,
Cole
yeah,
was
yeah.
like unconfident. So now
Yeah,
Drake
yeah,
is like
yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
homie for some
Right, right,
reason.
right, 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 right. Literally
And
put him
then
on tour with him.
and
Oh
Big
my
Sean
God.
is kind of like struggle like how Wale did at that time. The cities that they was from didn't stand behind them. So it was like
Yeah,
it was weird for them. They only had the blogs, and that was new.
right, right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? And then Wiz like was just like a totally different thing. You couldn't
Yeah,
even
because
like,
owner rap was kind of like niche and underground. Like him and Currency was doing they good like right
but that was
now.
like, yeah, they were
They
doing
got
a
a cult like
niche,
following that's gonna always fuck with them, but they was on
bro.
there like too cool for smooth, too cool for school, smoking blunts and like
Could
it
not
really,
get that
really,
cool. Drake
yeah,
could not go
yeah.
down. He would have had to go down to that.
I don't even think Drake could like make that type of weed smoking music for. He can do that sip a cup DJ Screwy type of shit because he fuck with like that
Okay.
sound so much. But like Drake is not a stoner.
Okay. So that's what I'm
They can
saying.
take only a half of a Zan.
No, but
You
think
know,
about
all
what
the
you just
DJ
said
is
though.
taking a half a
Think
Zan.
about what you just said. The niche rap for his time was then Sledgerin. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Surf Club. It was all that shit. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why he witnessed when XO, when they came around, which is 12
Yeah, 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 yeah. That
for
was turning.
him. Take Care,
Yeah, yeah.
right? When Take Care comes out, that's what I'm saying. He still does not have a definitive sound.
It's the beginning of that what we now will call the Toronto sound. But yeah, it was still being fleshed out. It was
But
not.
remember, Ellie wasn't remember like what is the Toronto sound? It's just like
Niggas
lo-fi.
was on Twitter. I mean, I get it. I don't
I
listen
get
to
what
any
he's
Toronto
saying.
artists, but like
It's a
whatever.
mood more than a sound, though.
Yes,
That's
yes,
what I'm saying. That's not a sound. That's a mood.
yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, no, you know what crunk Atlanta sound. You get
Right,
immediately,
right, right. You know what that's just, and it's a
you know,
mood on top of a sound. But yeah, the Drake
yes, you know what I'm
was
saying?
mostly moody.
It's moods. So then that's what I mean. By the time after nothing was the same, still,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. People like I really was like, no, it wasn't a sound. He tried to get on some like rappy shit, Tuscan
Yeah, yeah,
Leather. Those are
yeah, yeah.
just good beats.
Yes, 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 yes. And he
It's
was
a
barring up though. Like I'll give
no,
him.
that's my
He's
favorite
a
Drake
good
album,
rapper.
probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, that's why I
I
said
was not
Tuscan Leather.
listening to that nigga. That between after So Far Gone, I didn't come back around to if you reading this, it's too late. I've been a Drake hater for a very long time, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm
mixtape shit
saying
I was
though.
fucking with though, like Room for Improvement, Comeback Season, So
But I'm
Far
giving
Gone.
you,
Love those.
see, but you was in a big city at that time. I'm
Mhm.
in a real
Mhm.
college town.
Right,
So it's
right, right.
like
No, totally makes sense. Totally
we're
makes sense.
still riding. I'm still driving around listening to Drake Take Care. Now I'm listening to Good
Mhm.
Kid. I got the iPad. I'm listening to Audition the
No, I had
Blogger.
that. I was listening to that. Me, the Drake shit, it just, when he leaned so heavy into the R&B, singy, songy shit, that truly defines him and his sound and a lot of his career and his biggest hits
Mm-hmm.
now. I just was not fucking with it. I'd rather go listen to some actual R&B or some
Mm-hmm.
real singers, some neo soul, give me some
Mm-hmm.
jazz. Like, I just like people, because he's an appropriator. He's probably the best hip hop appropriator that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen. But the purist versus the tourist thing, bro. Like I'm gonna actually go listen to like go listen to Bilal or Erica Badu
Yeah.
or
And it was a
fucking
good time for R&B
yeah,
during that
Flying
time. That's what
Lotus
I'm
or
saying.
some
He's
other
in
shit,
the
or
middle.
Kendrick. Yeah,
He's in the middle the
he's
whole
been able
time.
to amass so many fans, I think, because of how it's like McDonald's, bro. Like the most deaf, well, Yassine Bey like analogy that he gave was awesome because I think
Yeah.
that is Drake and that it casts a great wide net, and from a marketing and metric standpoint, like yeah, that's tight, but also to me, you just see how fragile that shit is.
Mm.
You need to kind of stand for
Mm-hmm.
more. We talk about authenticity so much, especially when it comes to like what we do for a living, for brands and advertising, and all of that. But it's like people be trying to do too much to reach so many people. And I've been
Mm.
telling my chief strategy officers, the head of strategy, all that stuff. It's been a philosophy of mine for a while now on the strategy tip. We're not going to see like the end of big business, but I think the death of the corporation is imminent and like well on its way. You cannot be these
Death
big
of the
all
corporation.
encompassing things
I
for
got you.
everybody all the time anymore, especially in such a super like niched thing for now two very large generations of millennials and Gen Z and Alpha damn they're gonna be on the same type of shit that we on when it comes
Right.
to authenticity. Now, that's not to say that if I don't like yoga, I won't go buy Lululemon, but Lululemon needs to stay in their pocket
Right.
and like let
Lululemon don't
people
need
come
to
to
then
them.
try to start hooping and shit.
Exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many brands are trying to look for growth strategies. And I think
Oh my
Drake is that
God.
same type of person. I will say, in his defense, Toronto is the most racially and ethnically diverse city in all of North America. A
And
shit ton of
that's why he was
immigrants up
doing
there.
good.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Because he was
think
in the middle. He was
exactly.
doing
A
it
city that's
all.
a bigger melting pot than New York, and they feed from that New York shit because they're not that far away. And obviously,
Mm-hmm.
America is America, New York is New York. So Toronto is never going to be New York, but I can see a lot of those elements being pulled. But when you have that much more of an actual, like, authentic, we're actually more of a melting pot than New York City itself. You get this abundance and this richness of culture and this transferring of information and slang and musical styles and all these other things. I don't think Drake is fake from the fact that he fuck with reggae and dance hall and
No,
maybe
me
some
neither.
fucking UK music, all that. I think he actually do be being himself. It just is like you not like that. And I think he borrows too much that kind of like how people were talking about Kamala Harris. Like we don't know who you are for real, for real. And as you
Yeah.
just mentioned, he's a liar. So it's like it's very hard to pin down who he is because Kendrick be hopping on songs with Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter or somebody like that. But it's
That's
like,
true.
oh, you just like a rap nigga that might fuck with a fun pop record, and I don't see you as anything more or less. Whereas Drake will
Yeah.
go and like take slang and like go to niggas' hoods over in England and try to like make rap
Yeah.
videos with him, and
He
he
doing
like
too
does
much. I
it.
feel what you're
Yeah,
saying.
he do. It's like you have some couth, bro. Like when you start
Yeah.
doing too much, it's like when you talk too much, you start telling yourself after a while,
But
and
to
you just
your point
think,
though, even on some like, the things that he pulled from Toronto were only, in my opinion, when it came to like some real rap shit, was just the street shit. Like
right,
how are you
right,
Drake? How are you Drake and you don't deliver the next lyricist from
right,
Toronto?
right. Because Toronto does have good MCs up that way. They do have
I
good
mean,
MCs.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you grew up, you came into this shit with Nicholas F and them.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Cardinal
And,
official.
and
Yep.
I'm not mad at you even playing up the R&B shit in Toronto because you playing
Hmm.
off the women. It is a lot safer. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's more
Mm-hmm.
around music. Like that actually
He grew up in a very like prominent Jewish community. It's not like the nigga really from the hood.
is right exactly. But then immediately as soon as he could pull niggas from that and kind of play that up in Toronto, he did.
Right, right,
And that's what
right,
I'm
right.
saying. Like to me, that's the difference between that's the difference. Like I think that's the point that he don't get. And I'm not
Mm.
saying Toronto not dangerous and you don't need to move a certain kind of way. But
Right,
that's the
right, right,
difference between you
right.
just having insecurity and you not because you're not in the shits with them.
Right, right.
You're
Exactly.
not.
Exactly,
Like you're
man.
just not. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay.
Like
I don't expect you to get out and jump into the crowd and start punching
I
niggas.
mean, and I'm just saying, like, yeah, it was just like none of that energy. And yo, that's why I go back to '06, '07, '08. If you're
Hmm.
really doing that, especially like your rap, that shit is in you. Like when you interview, when you did certain shit, that shit was nowhere to be seen. So he tries to act offended that people act offended that he acts that way when it's like, no, but I'm not a dumb fan of yours. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm
right.
cutting him the slack up until, like you said, if you're reading this, it's too late because then he's struggling with trying to figure out the sound. Because the real sound, if you're a rapper, where does the sound come from? It comes from producers. You don't fuck with you didn't fuck with the Neptunes at the
Hmm.
Pharrell in that time period. You
Hmm.
you had your weird shit with Swiss Beats. So those was
Right,
like the next
right,
level niggas.
right,
You didn't
right,
do what you
right.
were supposed to do with Knife Wonder. You didn't do what you were supposed to do with Alchemy. Like that was the shit. Now you want to get conductor and shit like that, but it's like it's too late.
Yeah, you kind of missed that beat. And I was satisfied as a person that wanted to like Drake. Cause I talk a lot of shit about Drake, but like the nigga's a really good musician. So like I
Yeah,
be wanting to still fuck with you because you a good musician. Them songs are so hollow. It's like tight that he rapped over it, and I can still bob my
so
head to
hollow,
the
bro.
beat and shit. But it's like, when I listen to it a few more times, like, oh, it's not much here for me to like. I just would rather go listen to West Side Gun or My Call Me.
I would just rather go listen to fucking, you know what I'm saying,
Or
Benny.
Rock Marciano or Cock or any
Even
of
when
them
he came out with
in
like No
that realm.
Face, like the No
Yeah,
Face record. I like the
yeah.
song because I'm a Drake fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saying what you got to say, but that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's why I'm going back. I go back to those productions, then obviously there was a time to be alive because I'm
Right.
just like,
That is a classic.
I don't think that he knows, I don't think that there's a clear route to go. Like, since he got so offended by Not Like Us, he was supposed to drop the Not Like Us remix
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
use the Canadian slang on them. You know what
Right,
I'm
right,
saying? And put
right.
all the Canadian niggas on there.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right. Now,
saying?
like us
Like,
either, nigga. Fuck it. We
you
on
know what
some
I'm
other.
saying? Like, yeah, they not like us either. We would have dissed all it'd have been Canada versus West Coast.
Right,
Like,
right. And this just would have been a fun moment. Niggas would have shook each other up like, all right, bro, that was kind of tight. All
all
right.
right, that's funny. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because let's keep it a certain kind of way. But now you're acting like, no, you
What's
know.
funny is I just saw a tweet earlier this week. It was like my favorite part of the Drake and Kendrick beef was Wagwan Delilah. And I thought to myself, damn, there's
Hey,
because that was a fun record. And
you
it
know what I'm
was
saying?
it was very tongue in cheek. It was just like, oh, okay, you're not. I think Drake. That's the other thing about it. And I mean, light skinness, all that other shit aside, he doesn't know himself. And I think when if you're reading this, it's too late. There was a darkness in that particular project that I enjoyed a lot about it. It felt a lot more like raw to me, but I think it's because he was on some trying to get out of his contract shit. Like I think there was true emotion wrapped up in something like that. And I think like his songs, I liked more of the songs that came out on Views from the Six and More Life personally.
Yeah, I
Those,
love
the
views.
projects overall, I did not necessarily love, but I liked enough of the songs that are on those joints
Songs.
that I really fuck with, like fucking I'm convinced, so the shit with him, Two
Uh-huh.
Chainz, and Thug.
Yeah.
Nigga,
Yeah.
I literally when I've cried, I've thrown it in the rotation and cried to that before.
Yeah.
That's my shit, boy. That's probably one of my favorite songs. So Drake got one of those from me or
He can
whatever.
rap.
He can rap. He knows how to make good songs. But like I think when he was saying that, and that would have probably been because he's a few years older than us. So Drake probably would have been around 30 or going on 30 around that time. And I don't think that
Hmm.
I think he was probably, as I like to say sometimes, suffering from success. I don't think that he really was getting checks and balances on an internal level to truly grow and go into his 30s and like be a better man. I love J. Cole's fucking Forest Hills Drive. That's one of my favorite projects from him or
Hmm.
whatever. And there was a level of introspection and vulnerability and kind of like addressing some older things while also being aspirational about how much better you want to become as a man. I think that was on
Yes.
the album. And what really did it for me, because I was gonna listen to it anyway. I like gave it a quick little spin early on. It's like, okay, this is cool. I was also fucking with a lot of the beats and shit. But he
Yeah.
did an episode of Combat Jack, R.I.P. Combat Jack, and it was just him talking about the project and where he was mentally, getting married, fatherhood, and finally making some money for real, all these other things. I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, J. Cole has his head on straight going into
Yeah.
the decade of his life. And then when I went back and listened to it again, post listening to that interview, I felt that. Kendrick
Hmm.
don't necessarily have to do that because I think he does a better job of putting himself a little bit more out there in his music for real, for real. But this interview
Yeah.
fire too, you know, and I
Hmm.
just did not feel that from Drake. Future, which I think we could swap out Cole and put in Future in there for Big Three personally. So I
Yes.
feel I feel Future for that. But he is also a person that is extremely flawed. I think I talk a lot about how that nigga is too old to be making the shit that he makes, but I think the rawness and the humanity and the openness to just like take me as I am that he has, I can respect that about him. You know, I just listen to my turn up records and I call it a day. I definitely sometimes can't listen to
I mean,
Future as I'm getting
Future,
older, but like
Future and Pusha T are kind of the same thing.
yeah, just they don't make the same type of music, but they're pretty much like yeah, two sides of the same coin type
Two
shit.
sides of the same
Yeah,
coin
yeah,
type
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what I'm
Now,
saying? One
that
comes with a
authenticity in
different,
hip hop is so important,
but
bro.
they both have introspection records. They
Mm-hmm.
both have records. They talk about their love lives, or they talk about certain
Mm-hmm.
things that's in their personal life. They
Mm-hmm.
both hold a certain kind of code. They both gonna be
Mm-hmm.
on the fly shit. They both gonna
Mm-hmm.
be on some. Now I'm finna rap too. Like y'all not
Mm-hmm.
gonna play with me how I'm coming as well. Like that is of the same coin, and that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like that coin is something that like Drake is struggling. I think that people just they're not listening to. They don't take Drake's music for what he's really saying. Like Drake's problem is around the women, right? So think about it.
Always been his problem.
But I'm saying like this though. You just grew up around. I used Meg The Stallions, Glorilla, Sexy Red, stuff like that. So
Right,
you
right.
just know them in a different type of manner. That
You
if
talking
they
about me like growing up in St.
as a
Louis?
person, yeah, some
Yes,
nigga from the hood.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just know them.
Them
You know
literally
what
the
I'm
girls
saying?
that niggas grew up with.
You just know them. So like you said, at a certain time, the like you learn to like, okay, now what's my next iteration with myself with them in this certain kind of
Right,
light.
right, right, right,
He's
right.
just going around to all these like he's just in Houston living it up with all these black girls that he's just falling for, doing all this other shit. And like you said, there's that period in his music when it was cute how he was so upset and vulnerable around the women not doing what he wanted them to do. It
Mm-hmm.
grew to the point to where it's like, oh, you've been doing it so long now. People say you must be the problem.
Right, right, right,
Like you
right,
must be the problem,
right.
right? And so that is what his music is about. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
people want to like, yo, he's trying to be something like, no, he's just fucking bitches. And like, that's just what he's doing. That's what he's talking about. And I
Yeah.
understand the want for there to be more growth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But to that point, he didn't grow up in his household with his parents like Kendrick did. It made more
Right,
sense why
right, right,
Kendrick
right.
not acting a goddamn
That
fool.
does
It
matter.
really
That does matter. Yes,
you know
yes,
what I'm
yes.
saying? Drake didn't grow up with his big cousins like how Future did. So he don't got that
Right,
kind of code like Rico Wade. He don't.
right, right, right,
He didn't
right,
grow up in America like J. Cole, so he don't have like the, oh, I know when to like chill out.
right, right.
He
No,
don't have
that
that.
that is a good point, and I think that be kind of that's what I grapple with a lot in hip hop beyond Drake these days or whatever. And I know I'm also just getting older, so I'm just thinking deeper about it because now I'm at a certain point where I'm looking at young niggas. I'm 35 now. So it's like you a
Right.
senior in high school, you're half my age, and I'm just looking at young niggas and what they be doing. I'm like, bro, we just need more direction out here. And having grown older and
Mm,
been through shit, but also just knowing in general, just from a artist and musician perspective, but also advertising, the power of images and repeated messaging in things,
hmm
the impact that that actually does have on people that they're we know the science behind all of this shit already. Like that shit
hmm
definitely impacts the brain. I'm like, damn, bro, like we really are perpetuating some fucked up shit. And I'm not opposed to shaking your ass in the club or, I'm not
That's
necessarily
not the fucked up part
pro
though.
gun or anything like that. I'm definitely
It's
not
that
pro
killing.
gun. Like, yeah,
It's that
that's
killing,
really
bro.
that's really the shit. But there's also other things outside of that. Like we kind of need to tighten up a little bit more because we can't afford to lose things the way that other races can't afford to lose shit. Like white people
Yeah,
can make, or Shabuzi,
that's
shout
real.
out to him. He should have won his AMAs and all the other stuff. But like,
I guess.
I mean them CMAs or whatever. But white people can go and listen to a song called Tipsy. Like I met white guys that's country as shit with a good ass fucking construction job making 80, 90K a year, taking care of their family in Dirt Road, Indiana, Illinois. They
Hmm.
can afford to like get drunk in the club and have a bar fight and things don't end for them.
Hmm.
Niggas, though, the shit that we be perpetuating is really fucked up. I think about poverty. I think about violence. I think about negative cycles that don't have no end or stop in sight. And I just be kind of like, damn, bro. I just wish that there was something, especially when we start talking about broken homes and parents that's not necessarily all around, all these other things. And not saying it's our fault at all. We're also
Right.
aware of the systemic issues that have kind of put us in them spaces, but it's like somewhere the buck got to stop and we get realigned. And I don't know where that really comes from.
It's happening right now. And that's what I'm saying. That like the biggest thing in 2025 is where is Thug gonna take Atlanta? Is Young Thug going
He
to
can't be in
prove
Atlanta, so that's gonna be
no,
really
he
interesting.
could come to I'm saying, but like he drop a song, it's still gonna be the number one fucking thing
Yeah,
played
yeah,
in
it's still
Atlanta.
gonna be the shit. Yes, yes, yes,
Where
yes.
is he finna take Tell Lil Baby and them to take their mindset? Where is he
Especially
actually
after sitting
about to
down in
take?
jail for that time
Is he
too.
gonna become Malcolm X or not?
I would love to see Thug become the next Malcolm X. I don't
Is
think
he
that's
gonna
gonna
be,
happen, but I
you know
would
what I'm
love to
saying?
see that
Because
shit.
when Pop came out of jail,
Yeah,
he was in a
yeah,
bad
yeah,
place
yeah,
and he fucked
yeah.
his life over and he died.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because it was like it wasn't because that he didn't know what to do per se. It was like his life was in a fucked up place because like you said,
Right,
he was willing to perpetuate that. And in hindsight, he didn't need to do that. And that's what I'm saying.
right,
Like
right. That
with
kind of
the
is what led to him going down
that's what
that.
I'm saying. In real life, if we could go back in time, if I snap my fingers and all of a sudden we was in 2012 and everybody who was in the record industry and all this other shit, and then Chief Keef and everybody would play that shit hella different. They
Yeah,
would not do it the exact same way. They would not
yeah.
sign Lil Reese. They would not do that shit. And
Right,
they was
right,
doing it
right,
off of the
right.
streams. You look on YouTube, you a random white guy, you look at a subculture, he got 1 million views. You're like, well, sure, shit. It's all rap. I don't understand none of it technically. I didn't understand what the fuck
Hmm.
Wu-Tang and them was talking about. I'm not a
Right,
fucking
right,
five
right.
percenter, but it worked out. It was good.
Right, right, right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? It's not that deep, you know what I mean, to your
Mhm.
point. And so that's why it's just like, to me, that is what's most important and what's about to define, like you said, the genre, the mindset, and all these other things, because that has been the problem. We haven't had a godfather. Jay-Z has
Yeah.
tried to lead and show us certain things within the genre itself. Even Lil Durk and
Hmm.
them, they wanted to do better, but it was already too late for some of them.
Yeah, I
You know
mean
what I'm saying?
that's the other side of the game. It's like you kind of it's you watch any of Soft White Underbelly on YouTube?
I've seen some of it.
Okay, okay. It's
Yeah,
one
I've seen
episode.
it.
It's probably, for lack of a better term, my favorite, the one I revisit the most, rather. But it's this young brother. He's a gang member, or whatever, and he's just talking about being a gang member and listening to him. It just reminded me so much of some of the cats that didn't make it out of my neighborhood
Hmm.
growing up and shit like that. And just he was talking about, Buddy had asked him, "Do you ever get scared?" He was like, "Yeah, I get scared, but you can't be no bitch. Like you got to do it whether you scared or not." And dude just kind of kept talking about like committing to it. Like once you do it, you in that shit for real, for real. And I'm just like, I
Kendrick rapped about that shit.
yeah, I just it's just fucked up, man. And it's a really deep underworld when it comes to all of that type of stuff. And like, sure, Kendrick clearly grew up in that neighborhood with a lot of those niggas as well. And he was like, if you actually a cool nigga from the hood, not always, not everybody lives that way, but like a lot of times niggas not gonna fuck with you. Like, leave bro alone, bro. You cool as hell. Like that's such and such son or nephew. Like he cool, man. He
Bro.
ain't be on that type of shit. Like he good. Leave him alone, and you can go about your day for real, for real. So that's awesome to be able to like survive that shit. But a lot of niggas do resort to that sort of lifestyle or whatever because they don't have any family. they actually find family and friendship or feel love up in those gangs for real, for real. And so much of the stuff, I mean, these are very underdeveloped brains. Like these are teenagers whose brains not even fully developed yet and are vulnerable in so many ways. On top of being financially vulnerable, most of the time these niggas is doing some shit because they really need to figure out how to make some fucking money. Because maybe you got three or four siblings and your mama working all the time. You damn near are trying to help. So you're gonna sell a
Right.
little weed or a little dope or whatever the case may be. We know the story and it happens
Yeah.
all the fucking time. But bro was just like he was talking about like how he love his daughter, but he can't see her all the time because he always thugging. And it's like you don't want to get caught at a red light and you hanging out with your daughter, and the ops pull up next to you and blow your shit back. Now your daughter dead, and you or her. Cause we didn't see, especially from
Right.
St. Louis and Chicago. Them stories happen so much, bro. It'd be sad. Like, damn, this little
Hmm.
girl got hit in crossfire because they
Hmm.
daddy in some dumb shit or they
Right.
mama would do some dumb shit, and it's just like I fuck with that. I have high hopes for it after you say it. I don't fully trust. Not to say that Thug won't make better decisions. I do think that that man do not want to go back to jail, so I do
Hmm.
believe in him in that direction. But I just think that how far we are removed from like that 60s, 70s, like black empowerment, black liberation movement, where there was a lot more consciousness involved and a lot more
Hmm.
resources in our community. Like that shit happened, then crack happened. And like one
Hmm.
in three black men now goes to jail and shit. It's like they've destroyed so much stuff. And when we don't have knowledge of self. We don't have
Hmm.
resources. We don't have funded schools. And now Trump and them trying to gut the Department of Education. They're trying to get rid of abortion rights and shit like that, which we already know that when it comes to pop, like if you don't have a decent education, you're likely not going to have a decent income. And if you don't have a decent income and you start having kids, you're more likely to be stuck in a perpetual state of poverty. It's just so many
Yeah.
things just like we as a people have to realistically overcome. And I'm here for like the optimism of it because I want to believe in a better future and I try to like think about that. But the realistic mechanics of how that shit actually work and is engineered is a lot different than like just saying we gonna be all right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why the conversations around the music and everything is just so important. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not that
Mm-hmm.
like the violence was less when the music was more conscious or more of it was available. That's not really what it is. But there is a thing of, like you said, like young people's minds are very
It's a
elastic.
mindset, bro. It's a
And
mindset.
so like,
Niggas really had the switchblades in the 50s
but there are,
though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like, but there are certain
It's
things
different
that
than a
don't.
gun with a switch on it as
Come on,
well.
man. There are certain things that don't need to be made overly cool. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
asking for the absence of violence and drugs and sexuality in music. That's not what I'm asking
Mm-hmm.
for. I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking for people to act in a certain kind of way. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And it's like, and I'm also asking for people who are committed to a certain lifestyle, not take the place of a person who could be like an artist. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm asking. Like I don't think that like real known gang, it's one thing to be from a set, it's one thing to be a gang leader. It's
Right.
another thing to be like mass murderers and stuff like that.
Right.
Empire, if I knew about the history of King Vine and what he was perpetuating, Empire knew about it too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. They signed him because of that.
You
They
know what I'm
knew it
saying?
was keep sprouting and thought that that would
And
sell records.
come on. And there was a time when like you couldn't be a gangster and do it because of that, because it's not good for business.
Gangsters don't even be wasn't even really doing that type of shit.
That's, you
Like
know what I'm saying?
older gangsters,
Exactly.
like, nah, you get another nigga to maybe do this shit, but
Exactly. You might
you
fund this
gangsters,
shit.
gangsters don't dance, we boogie, bro.
You know
Like
what I'm
we
saying?
cut.
And so, but that whole change in mindset that just happened, and YouTube, there's so many different factors that even outside of the music
Mm-hmm.
that play into it. Facebook Live has caused a whole bunch of drama in the hood.
Niggas
And
literally die on Facebook Live.
you know what I mean? And so the technology is gonna change. You know what I'm saying? We can't ask technology to stop because some of us are fucked up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm just like, but we can kind of control what is cool. And I do think that those sites need to work harder on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like to me, like domestic terrorism and shit like that, not some black shit. Like
No.
to me, it's too
No.
many things that we have to accept as co-opted just because it's some people that's not running the play. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the play.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a group of people that's just running their own play. And that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
separated. Just like being in the mob is not Italian because it's Chinese mobsters
Right,
or
right, right,
Australian
right,
mobsters. It's
right.
mobsters of every nation. They the mobsters. That's them.
Organized crime existed for
Come on.
thousands of years.
That's
Yeah.
them. You know what I'm saying? On
Mhm.
average, other people doing other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think that the Kendrick album is very representative of people having a thirst for something that they feel is authentic. And I appreciate his ability to, I say, hover over the line of like calling motherfuckers to crash out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
having
yeah.
like, you know what? Look, our situation is fucked up. We did grow up in these gangs, but that don't mean that we got to be against each other. It's one
Exactly.
thing to get into it is one thing and to have a reason that we got into it and then that is what it is. But it's a lot of times it just be niggas just into it just because another nigga told us to be into it and we're actually not really into it technically.
Right,
We
right,
don't
right.
gotta like
I don't even
love each
know these
other.
niggas. Like
Yeah,
you
we don't gotta go
really carrying
Thanksgiving or
somebody else's
nothing.
burden for real, for real.
You know what I'm saying? That's them. And so him at least bringing the music together, like that stuff does matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Now I think the
saying?
pop out was really that and not like us. And sometimes it'd be like that, like a whole city get behind you when it's a beef going on or whatever. But like those were moments and like seeing so many people talk about being happy that he brought all the city out. And that shit, like literally in LA, like the real gang mecca, like because
For real.
Chicago has they got hoods and sets and blocks for real. But like LA is still very much so like structured, organized crime with hierarchy and still rules. They militant with they shit out there still.
Mhm.
Versus Chicago, whatever, they kind of broke that shit up here a little while ago. But
Yeah.
like,
More
yeah, bro, like
neighborhoods.
niggas know like what the fuck it is, and they know when it's time to put some shit down. I remember when we would have damn near been like high school at that point. But like when the game and Snoop came together and did like the Blood and Crip truce and all that should be having actual results when they look at the crime
Yeah.
the next year. Be like,
Yeah. It'd
oh
be
yeah, the
like two
crime rate
weeks.
went down. Like the
2 weeks, it was
crime rate
good.
went down. And then another nigga randomly died, and it's like, oh, all right, he was
Yeah.
beloved, yada yada yada. Shit go up. Nipsey died, now niggas all shooting all over the city again. So it be having
Yeah.
like real direct reactions to some like positive and negative things. But to me,
Oh
I
my
think that just goes
God.
to show one how deeply entrenched this shit really is. This is a way of life for people. I think about once again, like the unemployment rate. I know we talk about how good the economy is. Technically, yes, I won't get too political with it. Is on a economic tip better, but niggas don't always. The average American didn't feel it. That's why we already know what the results of the election
Uh-huh.
were. But the black unemployment rate is generally twice the amount of what the national employment rate is. And then for
Hello.
black men, it's so many men in general across the country, but for black men, it's like 20% have just opted out of even applying for jobs, bro.
Yeah.
They don't
We
have
see
no
them.
way to
You
get a
go around
job.
our neighborhoods. We go
Yeah,
around
yeah.
our neighborhoods. You see them.
Niggas
They're not
is
hiding.
jooging or trying to hit a play on some scamming shit or robbing and flipping shit.
Or they're
You
just
think
living off
that's
that government assistance.
yeah,
They
or
just in the
living up that
hood,
government assistance,
get a little
or
bullshit
laying up in
job,
your BM crib and then
hit the
hiding and
parlay.
running away when the motherfucking
Yep.
when
Try
the
to hit the
inspector
parlay
come
one
through to check
time.
on the crib or hit the parlay. So it's really fucked up. And like I said, we don't have no resources because I mean, you and I know, we both be on 95% of knowledge and self shit, but knowledge is power,
Mhm.
bro. Like that's the true great equalizer out here, knowing how to do
Yeah.
some stuff. And I know you mentioned Chief Keef and Drill earlier. I actually love Keith's story. Young Keith Kozar, man, he about 30 now, either about to turn 30 or just recently turned 30.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He, to me, is one of the best examples in the modern era of a marginalized black kid from the inner city, all this other shit that we always speak of. But what happens when you actually give that kid resources and take them out of an environment that's not really conducive for their growth? It's different when you living in that jungle. You gotta survive.
Mhm.
Keith had to get the fuck up out of Chicago. They wasn't letting him fucking perform in the city anyway.
Best
The
thing to
cop was
happen to
clamping
him.
down on him. It was beef rising up. Bro moved to LA, got a house, built a studio, and had a fucking iMac. Nigga learned how to do graphic design, make his own beats, got hubbed
Clothes.
with 50 and Gucci and all these other mentors. He got better as a rapper, started making his own cover art, designing his own merch. Goddamn me. Then motherfucking he even fucking he does his production. He directs his own videos and he got
Yeah.
artists and shit. So it's all
Yeah.
types of stuff that's going on. It's like all that kid needed was to get away from the actual motherfucking from the environment that was a distraction. We already know
Yeah.
about the ghetto PTSD shit and all of that. So it's like, yeah, bro, like it's hard when your mama is struggling, you hungry, you can't walk down your block or around your neighborhood and just be a kid. Niggas is
Yeah.
always trying to throw hands with you or shooting at you, or a homie died, or your at school, your schools is underfunded. You don't have like it's
Hmm.
nothing. Your teachers don't give a shit about you because they underpaid and it look like shit. And you gotta
It's
walk through
stressful.
security.
That
It's
shit's
just it's
stressful.
very, very, very hard to simply
Hmm.
just like keep your mind afloat. And you already a fucking kid. They
Hmm.
should all have the best resources and opportunities to be the best and brightest. And I know politicians always run on that bullshit. The actions don't always speak about it when it comes down to, bro, the Department of Education, that's mostly state money when it comes to those types of things. They're about to
Listen,
fucking take handicapped and disabled kids funding away with the DOE if they
bro,
actually knock that away. It's like,
bro,
bro, these are kids who need it the most. What are we talking about? What are
man.
we talking about? But I just don't see it because it's like, yeah, bro, every child in this country deserves an equal opportunity to have a decent education. And we
Hmm.
already know, like, some of these kids, their only opportunity to eat is when they go to school on a particular day. And it's
Hmm.
like, now y'all want to cut funding for that shit too? The school meals wasn't even that good, healthy, and nutritious in the first place. But now you want to eliminate it and charge at public school? Come
No
on, man.
child left behind. We ain't ahead.
Bush, he ate with that one. He ate with
Bro,
that one. And total
gags.
irony and opposites, because that is not what the fuck happened since
The
two
black community is
2000.
gagged from No Child
Yeah.
Left Behind.
I don't know,
So,
but that's why we got to really click up and get together on this shit, bro. Like, we
okay.
need more unity. And like I said, it's some good fun records out there that might necessarily be the most positive and constructive shit. I love
Right.
music in general. I'm also an adult that has a cognitive mindset and know how to separate some shit. I'm
Right.
not a teenager that is very impressionable, when it comes to some of this stuff, or a young adult who's very unimpressionable. And I don't necessarily be on social media listening to being getting bombarded with these messages that will further perpetuate a particular way of thought.
But
So I'm
I think
separated from
that
that shit. Not everybody is, bro. This is a deep cultural thing.
I think that the end of Gen Z, the older Gen Alpha, will be a
Okay.
lot like Gen X. I think that they're gonna grow up during the time, like if you went to a high school during the time, kind of to your point, you was like, you asked the little kids, and then it's like, damn, do y'all use crack? They'd been like, hell no. Because we know that
Right.
that's
Crack
like
is not
crazy.
cool. Yeah,
Y'all, what
yeah.
y'all think about gang? That shit crazy. Like that, like
Hmm.
it's a
Hmm.
group, and then the niggas who just want to be in the gang are just the niggas who just want to be in the gang.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? I feel like they're growing up in that time now with so like there is a lot to see. TikTok does give you a lot to see, and I feel like it's even giving kids when we was growing up, little black kids in the hood was just on the internet acting silly, being little black kids.
Yeah.
I feel that energy has come back. TikTok kind of cannibalized that energy and just people dancing on the screen and just not really doing shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like I
right,
feel
right,
like
right.
that has kind of helped create somewhat of a childlike space on the internet that did not exist 5 years ago. You know
Yes,
what I
kids are
mean?
probably most like kids on TikTok doing.
And I think that that is like a good thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I understand like I'm one for there should be a children's internet and there should be an adult's internet, you
I
know?
absolutely agree with that
And
for sure.
so, I feel like that as a society, as millennials, as we get older, as we finally start to hold positions of power, I'm not saying we're gonna uproot the system because no generation usually does. But I
Yeah.
think that we'll be the generation that put the seatbelt in the cars. We're gonna make certain stuff like regulatory
Right,
as for
right,
in
right,
terms of
right,
the
right,
internet
right,
to
right,
make
right.
it better. Like, yeah, we crashed out and we seen a lot of niggas die, but y'all gotta have seatbelts from now on. Like, we gonna be
Right,
the
right,
generations
right,
like,
right,
it's
right,
no
right.
more beer and driving. Like, we done with that shit. Like, that was some shit from
I
the
mean,
60s, the 50s. We not drinking and
I
driving no more. Like, totally.
I like this mindset. I just am skeptical to some
Just for the
degree.
internet. Just
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
internet.
We we
Just
we
for the
got we got we
internet.
got we got a
Not in
lot of
real life.
shit.
Not in
Yeah,
real
we
life.
got we
No,
got a
real life
lot
we're
of shit
fucked.
within our own within our own selves. We still
Yeah.
working through. And I'm not like pro whooping per se, but just using it as an example of like discipline.
Tough
I don't
parenting.
think that we really know what discipline truly looks like. I mean, sure, you work really hard and you exercise a lot. Like that's a form of this, but I don't think that
Right.
we really know what rules and ramifications and structure and consequences really look like, especially
Mhm.
when we grew up in the era where doing what would traditionally be really bad consequential things also made you be celebrated and got you famous and rich on the internet as
Right.
well. I
I
it's
think all
really,
that has
really
normal. I
weird.
think it's
It's really
normalized.
weird. Yeah, yeah.
I think
We
it's
we did,
normalized. I think that like you can't. I don't think that you could be the biggest drug dealer in your city anymore, show it online, and now you're the biggest rapper. You might
yeah,
can get a following, people might fuck with you, but you're not finna
yeah,
sign an like all that shit like
yeah,
that
yeah.
collapsed
No,
the
that,
record
that's that's
labels.
that's done. That's done for sure. I mean,
And
hell,
so,
the boys
and
is
that's
on yours nowadays.
and
You
that's why I'm like,
you
so
ain't gonna get
now people really, people really have a decision to make because it's like, you know, you got to go all in now. Now that the
Mhm.
big boogeyman of like, oh, it's online. There used to be a
Right,
boogeyman. Don't
right,
put it
right,
online.
right,
Now
right, right.
everything is online. Now it's like you really have an opportunity to show and be who you really are and cream rise to the top. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
think that there's gonna be it's gonna be like I said, it's black people in Bitcoin. It's black people in all these sectors that are really truly black that
yeah.
really still hold on to, like you said, what we are hopefully will live this life 40, 50 more years of
Hmm,
carrying out this
hmm,
thing. We're gonna be adults with Gen Alpha. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm.
they gonna be the. So that's what I'm saying. Like I see that like young people not like it's fucked up for them, but they really like just like I kind of like it on the 90s kids. Like they just like it's fucked up. Like if you talk to kids in the inner city in the 90s, like it's fucked up, but then they grew
Yeah.
up 2000, like they did hella shit. They just was
Hmm.
being black. They're hella
Yeah,
black. Gen X is
yeah, yeah.
hella black. I kind of feel like it's like that now because it's like sexy red. The hood, like the hood is back
Yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
kind of
Like
way.
the real hood, the
The
real hood.
hood, the
You
hood,
on the block hanging out, and it's like
bro. You're in the hood.
yeah,
It's not
you
like
not having to stare at niggas driving down your street.
bro, Glorilla, it's the hood. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Like
yeah,
that's the real hood. That's
music,
what
music.
you know what I'm saying? Like she's a
I
real star.
love
That's why
that.
that Shabuzi shit didn't work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
have let that shit be win no awards neither. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're
Fair
supposed to
enough.
do it.
Bro
Hip
has
hop, that's our
Nigerian anyway.
problem.
Which shout out to my Niger people, but what is a Nigerian rapper doing making country music? I feel it. I feel it, bro. But
Take that
Beyonce
shit
needs
back.
to
I'm
win a
I'm
Grammy.
American. I'm
She
back
needs to
for it.
win a Grammy
I'm back
too.
for America Plus, Mars. I'm
Yeah,
pro America.
yeah, yeah. Now, I wonder what an Afro beats country record would sound like.
Yeah,
That
make that take that shit
shit
to
might
Afro Punk, man.
do a little line dance. You remember the after like SNL or Mad TV growing up, they used to have the country
Mm-hmm.
bar in St. Louis. They
Mm-hmm.
line dances all
Hell
night.
yeah.
Niggas used to be kicking.
Man, my great aunt used to watch that shit all the time. Nigga, what you
They was
talking about?
in
Sitting
that
there
hoe. And
smoking a
that be
cigarette,
my
drinking a
thing.
beer.
Now that you mentioned that, that's kind of my other thing that I have a little bit of hope from. You know, St. Louis is a very blue collar town. It's a lot of like white folk that got the same amount of money as niggas around that bitch for real. For real. It's
Mhm,
wealthy folks, but them niggas is out in the county. So
mhm.
like I actually fuck with a lot more of the blue collar, not so rich white folk than this Democratic Party, college educated, white
Yeah,
or whatever. Granted, yeah, we got a couple white homies that we cool with at work or whatever the case may be, but
right.
it be so
They
it's a
come
lot
from those blue
of
collar
business. Yeah,
families, to
yeah.
your point.
Like I like my boy Jeff Williams growing up. I was in Tower Grove with like nigga, we was bonding over WWE and South Park jokes and shit in fourth, fifth grade. Like, but I felt him and he liked 3 6 Mafia because like the kids in his name Chaz, he had a black kid named Chaz that was his name, but Chaz was super cool. I fuck
Right.
with bro, whatever, but like they was listening to 3 6 Mafia and Lil White and all of that, and then my cousin
Yeah,
on the same type of tip. Like I can connect with them for real, for real. And I don't think a lot of them are actually MAGA types, TBH. Like if you a
right.
white boy that's really MAGA, you probably racist. But other than that, like I understand all these economic things that people have been motivated by. I
Yeah.
totally feel it and can resonate with that. But like, yeah, I probably got more in common with them dirt road Indiana, Omaha, Nebraska ass white folks than I do like them Lincoln Park whites,
Yeah.
Evanston
That-
whites for
That's
sure.
and that's so crazy. Like you said, to live in that city and to still have like that's like redlining, that gentrification. Like that's
Hmm,
where that shit
hmm.
really like doubles down on what it actually truly is. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, that's crazy, man. That like I feel like we've covered a lot here.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I don't know what to
I'm
name this
looking
episode.
forward to I'm
I
looking
don't know
forward to
what to
how
name
this
this
thing
one.
grows. Um, yeah, man. Are you looking forward to anything this holiday coming up? We could
Well,
probably end.
yeah, yeah. I'm actually hosting Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, at the crib.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
that's what's
Yeah,
up. That's
yeah,
what's
yeah.
up. Did
So
you?
we'll
I don't know
be
if you actually saw it on your algorithm, but Jay White live in your neighborhood now too. You're around the corner from you.
really. I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
he over by the soccer stadium. He just moved what at the top of the month.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
knew. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I have to hit his line, man.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
I'm
a nice
down.
little loft situation. I would definitely be
Yeah.
crashing on these niggas' couches when I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, man. Let me know when you back. But yeah, no, I just got that. Uh, search party. Just dropped a new issue.
Congrats on that. Yeah, yeah. Thank
Search
you for
party.
reminding me. Yeah, I was gonna tell
Yeah.
people to cop that anyway, but I have an article.
Yeah.
I'm a published
Search
writer.
party. Yes, sir. We got to do it for the gang every
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So
no. I
that
do
that
like the
was the
cover art
party.
on that too. And that is like I like the way that it's printed this time
Oh
around.
yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool how y'all did that.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Fonz, man. You know, he really did his big one with the art direction. Shout out to Tara. Hold it down like always. Shout out to Phil Club, everybody who came out. That was a real good, nice event.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just get ready for the new year, man. World domination, I guess.
Type shit, type shit.
Only
Yeah,
thing I
I'm in the
know.
cut, man. Up here. I'm going to Mexico City with my lady on Friday though, so gonna spend the
Nice.
weekend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Down in CDMX. Love the city.
Nice.
It'll be her first time, so want to show her a couple of my favorites and see some new shit for the first time myself as well. It's a big ass city, so I don't know if I
Nice.
I don't think you've gone yet, but I'm sure your
Now,
ass
I
will.
went to Mexico City. I went for work,
You go
actually.
for when you go for Mexico City? I don't feel like I saw you
Yeah,
on the
I did.
timeline. What was that?
Yeah, that was like 20. Was it 23? Was it last year? It was either last year or yeah, it was last year. I was in
Really?
Mexico City for like 4 days, 4 or 5 days, four
Word.
seasons, living it up.
Nice, nice.
Oh yeah, living it
Wave,
up.
Wave, you was down there doing research stuff or actually shooting some
Nah,
stuff?
shooting a commercials, two commercials at once. Kind of, it was Jim Beam commercial and a Basil Hayden commercial. Yeah.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I feel like I do kind of recollect a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We was
Okay,
down there
okay,
like in the
okay, okay.
park.
Yeah, yeah, you know
We
the
like rented
way.
out like a museum and like these old ass buildings. Like it was crazy just being in like that ancient place. So I was really at work, but it was like ancient as fuck and
Yeah,
like
because it's
cool. So I
really
really
a
want to go to
old
the
world
museums.
city, bro. But it's got like that layer of colonialism on top of the architecture's fine.
Yes,
You don't lie, the architecture fine.
yes,
All the trees is very walkable. You know, it's
yeah,
like bigger than New York City, so it's like it's a
right.
city, a
So I could
mega.
tell that for flying in, for leaving out, like just going, like,
Yeah,
you know, once
yeah,
you finally get
yeah.
your bearings at a place, you kind of can
Mhm.
start looking around and seeing where you at, what's to it.
Exactly,
So I
exactly.
finally had gotten that space where I was just going to sit, really, you know.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. You should definitely. Y'all should go down there on a nice little quick vacay because it's pretty affordable too, low key.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
damn affordable. The Airbnbs do not be bad at all, bro. Couple hundred
okay,
bucks. It's definitely a lot cheaper than going to fucking London or some shit like that.
type shit, which I don't
Yeah.
really have a desire to be visit yet. I guess a Europe when I
You
get
you
there.
you one day I understand that it might not necessarily be high on your list, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think you
not.
will fully enjoy London,
Oh,
especially 'cause
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Did you see also that it's more Indians that now own homes in London than actual British people?
Shout out to,
That
hey,
just
they
that was
about to
like a
do the
big
same thing
headline
in
a while
America
ago.
too.
Yeah, no, I know that
Next,
I love it because the Indians was like, yeah, nigga, how I feel to be colonized and return, motherfucker.
I
Which I'm
wonder.
watching it happen for a minute because it's already like I think the mayor might be Indian at this point, and it's just
That's
like a
fire.
high concentration of like billionaires and shit like that that's over there. So this was like bound to happen in due
That's
time
fire.
anyway. But I love seeing the colonizer get colonized, bro. That's one of my
Yeah, man.
favorites.
I'm here for that's what I'm saying, man. The new world, the North Side gonna be full of Indians and Mexicans. That's my prediction.
Ooh,
Beaumont
that's
gonna be
is the Indian
Indians.
population down there popping up too? I definitely see. I love my brown coalition, but I've seen the increase in
Or
my
walk around the Central West
Latinos.
End. Walk around the Central West
Word,
End.
word, word.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's about to
okay,
go
yeah, I'm gonna have to
down.
tap into that.
Go up on Schnucks on Lindo. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Pull
love
up.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
They're gonna be at Carteret Metro real soon.
I told you they're gonna be at Beaumont. They're gonna be on Beaumont. You
Hooping,
know what I'm
playing
saying? They're
football.
gonna go to Beaumont. They're gonna reopen Beaumont, the
Dirty as
Indians.
hell eating good barbecue.
Telling you, bruh. So that shit gonna be crazy. Bro, it's gonna be 50 Indians
Yeah,
and
man, I
Mexicans
don't
in
know.
both.
Like multiculturalism without like the overlay of racism is fire. It's
Yeah.
fire.
I mean, I was a slave, so it's just like, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just here to have
exactly.
a good time. I'm not here for a long time, I'm here
Exactly.
for a good time, you know.
That's
So
real. Yeah.
I don't really
Exactly.
got the same ties. Like I said, I'm just here. I'm here for America. So
Type shit. Type shit.
I'm American. I don't really got nothing
Flag
else
that I
going.
got, man.
The
Until I
only
get
one
my
I got.
citizenship, I'm gonna be fake Nigerian out here.
No, low high key, low key. I definitely want another citizenship somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't do that 23 and Me though. Them niggas be selling the DNA. I think one of them companies just got sold or went bankrupt
They
in
did.
China still. Yeah,
That's
so
why you gotta do the African ancestry.
yeah, but
African
also
ancestry, they
niggas be
don't.
doing like you could hire a private detective too, a private investigator, and like they just go through like they do it without getting your blood work and DNA involved. But like
Mhm.
I'll even do that so I can see who is who is who is who. I'll do that.
I still feel like, but that's not gonna give you your genetic though, because it's like you want to
I
know the
mean,
tribe. Like it's gonna
if they
stop at
get
a
you to
certain
the
point.
slave ship, they can tell you where them slaves came from.
Damn, that's some real private eye
Yeah,
investigative work.
like you can come from Ghana or Senegal or Ivory Coast, Cote
Uh,
d'Ivoire, if you will,
how much does that shit cost? Because I feel like African
I
ancestry
know
will
I
be
got to
three
do
hundred
my Googles
dollars.
on that, but we got decent incomes. I feel like that's something I would probably really want to get into when I like am married with kids and shit. Do that for myself and my wife, just
I did
so
that for
we
my mom's
know and then
side.
our children can know and shit.
Yeah, my mom's side, it was like mostly Cameroon. Me and
You do look
Joel,
Cameroonian now that you say
me and Embiid. You know what I'm
that.
saying? Shout out
My
to the
nigga
Cameroonians. You know what I'm
got the
saying?
slim, got the cheekbones and shit.
Yeah,
Got me.
I gotta. Yeah. I gotta figure out
Nigga
my
like,
dad's
yeah,
side. I ain't did the paternal yet, but I did the
type shit,
maternal
type shit. I don't know.
Cameroon.
I feel like I've
So
heard that the maternal like has more weight. I don't know what that actually really means, but I feel like I've
that
heard
makes
somebody
sense.
say that before.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So my mama's all them. They all came from
Mamas love my
Cameroon.
mama.
Right.
True shit,
So
true
all that
shit.
shit. But all right, y'all. Till episode 4. You know, we rocking with the good people. So appreciate y'all.
Big St.
Peace
Louis,
out.
even when the arch fall down. We'll catch y'all later. Happy holidays to everybody.